Excited.
Nice to see you, Nick.
Yo, we are live with 5 motherfuckers on this thing.
That's right. We got the all-stars up in this bitch. PRL history here.
We made you wait an extra day, so we're adding another mofo.
That's right. Well, I am Autodassing, and you guys are listening to the Punk Rock Libertarians podcast, episode number 371.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
wow.
Sounds legit.
Yeah. Sounds right. All right. Well, I'm joined with Jared Schneiderman,
Hey guys.
Alex Schlegel,
Yo.
Icky Pete,
What it do?
and last but not least, Extremist Bab.
Hello.
Dude, you sound crystal clear. You sound like a little bit like Freedom right now.
Dude, I am broadcasting. I'm broadcasting from my secure and undisclosed off-grid property using satellite technology to beam the signal out. So, like, this might be the first time Punk Rock Libertarians is going into space. So, just remember what you say. Like within like 4 or 5 years, it's going to be reaching other solar system.
Nice. So you say it's like a link between the stars. Would you say that?
Starlink. Thank you, Elon. I'm glad he's at least doing something useful. And, anything he's doing besides talking about Bitcoin, I approve of. So go, Elon. Yeah.
Nice. So how was everybody's Halloween?
Uneventful.
Oh.
I think only people with kids celebrate Halloween.
Well,
I mean, normally I have a
Hanukkah Grinch. So now you're also the Halloween Grinch.
Normally a friend of mine has like a big party, but this year he decided not to. So that was pretty much what I've been relying on for the last decade. So I was pretty much out of things to do.
Wait, are you finally getting old, Jared? Is that the thing?
Yeah, I think so, man. Well, he was like, "Oh, my neighbor's doing it this year. If you guys want to come, you can." I was like, "I'm not fucking with that. I'll just stay home
the
and drink."
neighbor. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, fuck the neighbor.
Yeah.
How about you, Icky Pete? What did you get up to?
We went up to New York State and experienced the tyranny firsthand, hanging out with the grandparents.
The Empire State. They actually call themselves.
Were you up there to murder them?
Empire State.
It's not lost on me as I became an adult how true that really was.
Wow, I've actually never thought about that. Somehow, that's pretty
Wait, you
crazy.
never thought about what?
Like that, it's called the Empire State, and
What do
that
you
it's
think
the
the Empire
Empire.
State
Like well, okay, I get it, but I'm just saying I never made the connection between the national, the U.S. Empire.
Yeah.
Well, I got lucky. I grew up I grew up in the red parts of the state that give zero fucks about anything New York City says. Like those places where the sheriffs were going on TV and saying, "Yeah, you can pass the SAFE Act, but we're not enforcing it. So enjoy coming out here if you must." So it's still different out there, but you still feel it. Like the minute we got into the state, you start seeing the signs about masking and shit on the side of the road, and you're just like rolling your eyes as hard as you possibly can.
Shit's weak.
And this is out in Western upstate New York or New York.
Yeah, we're right along the PA border.
Oh, so yeah, New York State, the parts of that state just need to secede, nullification, just break away.
We've been trying for years, man. My county specifically would love to get the hell out of there.
Well, didn't the governor get in some trouble recently for groping people or something? Cuomo, right?
He's still
Did he
stupid
get
popular there.
Did he get prosecuted? Is that what I heard? Someone tried to tell me that, and I was like, no, he didn't get prosecuted.
I'm pretty positive he didn't.
No,
there's more accusations coming out.
Nobody seems to care about all the senior citizens he murdered in the nursing homes with the whole COVID debacle, right? Like, I think everyone's just like, all right, we're going to give you a pass on the mass murder, but Me Too movement is not going to be so easy to appease. I think he's been a shithead at the office. So whatever it takes.
The thing is, they needed those old people bodies to run along with their little campaign. So,
right, if they didn't have the body count, they couldn't have declared the emergency that they needed to declare quite so easily, and they might not have sold as many pharmaceutical products.
Yeah, because they would have had to like sell them on their merits and not to governments.
Oh God, who's got time for that?
Yeah, it's way easier to market to 10 politicians than the entire world.
Especially if you have the Epstein files.
Those don't exist. Come on, now, you conspiracy theorists.
Hey,
God,
just because
either.
Epstein's dead doesn't mean I'm pretty sure that Pfizer and got the files. Like what it could explain so much.
Has anybody been following the is it not Prince Charles, it's the other one over there who
There's
like
another one?
Well, the one that's like going down for being like Epstein, who originally tried to say, I don't know any of these girls
yeah.
that are accusing me of having raped them when they were 15.
Oh, Bill Gates?
Well, I mean, might as well be.
Wait, who is it again?
Tom Hanks. Oh,
my,
Tom Hanks.
my connection like got a little weak there. Who were you saying this is?
It's one of the princes. Like
Oh,
I can't remember which one. Yeah, one of the
Prince
royalties.
Andrew, says Damon.
Andrew.
Okay, I thought it was like they were talking about Prince, like the artist.
He's been dead for like 10 years, dude.
Look, if he's a corpse
Hey.
raping women, God bless him.
You
Was
never
Prince
know
a-
these days.
Which is the prince that was wearing like Nazi costumes to parties and stuff like that, or going out in black?
I think that was Charles.
All of them.
Well, out in the open, Icky Pete.
Which one got in some flack for that?
Well, I
forget.
thought it was a family costume. You can't go out one Nazi
True.
deep. You need to have your brother there with you at least. It's a bold statement.
They're all Nazis.
Oh, it's
Wait.
Harry, Prince Harry.
Harry.
He's the one that married the
The
he's the one that
black woman,
the black
quote
chick, right?
unquote, quote unquote.
Prince.
And then they get on Oprah and say like that everyone in the royal family's racist, right?
Yeah.
He's the motherfucker wearing a Nazi
How they got
costume.
their pass.
Now,
They
wow,
got their pass.
that is a pivot. I call
I
that a
know.
pivot.
It's
You're like,
fucking
all right,
brilliant.
one moment. All right, we've got a problem with the prince. He's a Nazi. He's a racist bastard. Everybody hates him. Well, how can we turn this around? And now look at him. Guest
Prince
on
Andrew-
Oprah.
Prince Andrew's complaining because people call him a eugenicist. We just don't use that word anymore. Get on it. We're called globalists now.
Or
Globalists.
progressive or
Yeah.
Democrat.
voter.
Republican. Yeah, voter. Statist.
Well, mentioning Meghan, the Prince Harry's wife. Did everybody hear about that other half black guy that decided to go and step in shit by claiming that pro athletes are the same thing as slaves?
Oh God,
Who
no.
was that?
Mr. Kaepernick went and
Oh yeah, Colin Kaepernick.
Wait, what?
Because
That was wild,
professional
I thought.
athletes, they're not allowed to quit, right? They can't walk away from their job
for
because
their multi-million-dollar contracts.
Yeah, it's it's obviously they'd be whipped to death if they tried to leave their Nike contract.
I hasten to think about the world that my daughter is going to grow up in. What the fuck the word slavery is actually going to mean if now multimillionaires can be slaves.
They're wage slaves, dude.
Yeah. Yup.
Their wage might be larger than any of ours will ever be, but
Dude. All right. I know this is off topic, but man, I'm sitting here sharing all our the podcast everywhere, just do my usual spamming. And I was sitting there hitting share like 50 groups. And like I'm in like so much of these ridiculous ass groups that people invite me to that I don't even know how. Like I got in this thing called the Taco Bell Forum. Like what I don't even know. I'm in a group called Taco Bell Forum. So I'm going
I think
all the
you're
way
too online, dude.
I am. But
You are way too online.
so
Go
I
ahead.
get all the way to the bottom of the list, and there I find punk rock libertarians. We have because they rank it by relevancy and like all your violations, and just like all the way at the bottom. There's punk.
When
rock
you search for what?
libertarians.
Oh, just like in your page
Just
list?
share. When you go to share it, it
Can
shows
you-
you like all of your lists. or your
Can you
groups.
sort by social credit ranking and just go to the bottom and there we are? Is that it? Like,
Oh no, I take it back. One below it is outright libertarians. Should I share this to outright libertarians?
Dude, how soon is it?
absolutely.
Speaking of Facebook and whatnot, how soon till we get banned from the metaverse?
Oh yeah, Meta. Yes, right.
Yeah, so Facebook is now. Well, I don't know that they've changed their name, but they've basically formed a parent company called Meta, under which like the Facebook app and Instagram and the
like an umbrella
Council of
corporation.
Foreign Relations will sit underneath.
Brought to you by Sweet Baby.
I welcome this new overlord.
It's almost like some sort of alphabet soup agency. I don't know, Google.
Yeah, exactly, right?
Dude, they're
It's like when they formed. Right, it's like when they
Yeah.
formed Department of Homeland Security, right? They're like, we're going to take a whole bunch of really shitty organizations and terrible, terrible things and put them all under one central umbrella.
There you go.
You know what I feel bad for? I feel bad for Sweet Baby Ray's, because they're caught up in this mess.
Oh yeah.
They
I
didn't
hate to
ask
see
for
it.
I feel like Sweet Baby Ray's is like, fuck. Like,
Well,
come
you know
on.
what that is though. That's that whole lizard thing. Like he watched that video with Hillary Clinton pulling the hot sauce out, like, I carried ever trying to fit in with the dregs, but
Right,
not
how do
quite
you
getting it
how
right.
to
you think that's a
simulate
psyop?
human? How to
Right.
simulate human? They like
Did you s-
sauces. Put
They like
sauce
hard-
on table. Prove
like
you
the
are
bar-
Oh, I gotta
human.
find that video. I gotta find
They're
this
like-
video.
Oh, when
Yeah,
Zuckerberg
okay,
was
so
smoking
is-
meats.
Okay.
No, well, no, there's
First
a
of all,
video on
not everybody-
Zuckerberg.
Some people might not know what you're talking about. So just for those that don't know, the Zuck gave some kind of speech about the new Meta thing, and in the background was a bottle of some Sweet Baby Ray's barbecue sauce on the
On his
mantle,
bookshelf.
on his bookshelf, right? Like, obviously there's nothing like books that he would have been reading or anything, but there is some barbecue sauce, and it just, I mean, of course the internet exploded with curiosity and wonder over this, and the memes have been flavorful.
But did it actually happen, or is this just a psyop and we're all buying into it and he's just using it? Like, was this in the video? Or we just
Yes.
Yeah, it was.
Are you
in the
sure?
video.
Okay. Because
Yeah,
all I've
yeah,
seen
yeah.
is
Well,
still shots.
who
All I've
actually
seen is-
watched the video? Because I didn't
Exactly.
watch it.
I didn't watch
Like,
it.
I mean, I saw
Nobody-
clips of it. Yeah.
Who would be right? That could be the cool thing, because nobody would actually watch something as stupid as the Zuck, like promoting himself, right? And whatever
Wait,
stupid
so-
crap
But
he's
dude,
got going
there's
on.
this video of him sitting down with this chick that works for him, I guess, right? And they're talking about like their new gaming stuff. And like I can't even do it justice, but it's like the cringiest thing. And they're just literally having a conversation back and forth, but they're both like trying their best to be humans. Like they're both like they're like lizards trying to be humans, having a conversation about playing video. Oh man, I gotta find it.
They probably hired the same consulting firm that Hillary Clinton uses. Like we've got some kind of like well, who do monsters call when they need to appear human? Right?
Yeah.
Like that is a niche consulting mission right there.
So speaking of trying to fit in, there was a video. I can't remember why it's floating around, but somebody started floating around the Windows 1995 release party for Microsoft, with like Bill Gates and all the other nerds up on stage dancing, and it is the most insane thing you've ever seen in your life. Like, good God, these are the people directing society right now. We're
They're not
totally
sending their best.
fucked. They were not sending their best.
Was it Windows 95 launch?
Yes.
Yes. Oh, dude, I think we got to go to the docs here.
Oh, the Steve Ballmer one? Is that what you're talking about?
These lizard people do not know how to assimilate.
Dude, it's so great. Like,
Wait, are you
is
talking
this-
about the Steve Ballmer one when
How
he's
did
like
they get
losing his shit
control
on
of the
stage?
world?
Yeah.
they're all losing their shit on stage. Look at that dancing. What is it? They're trying to dance to the Rolling Stones.
Yeah.
Can we insert this into the program?
Yeah, here we go. It's right here, Jared. The last link.
We're talking about.
So
Oh yeah, the Ballmer one. Yeah, Steve
Oh
Ballmer.
god.
These people.
I don't-
Just be right. We're not going to subject the Patreons to this in the after hours show, right? Like we wouldn't do that to the people we care about. We're going to show crap like this to you guys.
Clapping off beat. Yeah.
Oh,
You just
dude, it's
see me
amazing.
dancing in the corner. Just so many white people love
Oligarchs.
pointing. They love pointing. when they
Oligarchs on parade. I mean, what the hell?
Wow, chicken, wow. You know what? It's really funny. That
Oh, we
they
got
wrote
it. Here it is. All right. Here it is. Yes. this is
Oh
classic.
no! Oh my God!
It's so bad. It's so bad. So we
1
see
second.
3 white gentlemen balding, 2 balding, in their most 1990s attire. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Poor Bill Gates trying to dance.
Oh, that's exactly how he looked at in like 7th grade at the dance.
He's just like,
Oh, look at that haircut. Oh,
he's clapping. He's like, I can't wait to kill half of you. Oh, he's jumping.
You can't. Yeah.
Poor Bill Gates.
He's like, why am I
Oh,
on
God.
people?
well, no,
There's
you
a
know,
better
no
there's a
wonder.
better one where Bomber's
Listen.
just like losing his shit.
It is. It
Oh.
really makes a lot of sense now. Like in hindsight, to think like that is the kind of shit would drive you to become a supervillain, right? Like
He's like, what's the
you're
easiest
so
way to
laughed at. You're like society has been mocking you, and you got the big government contracts, and you've accumulated billions, and they're still laughing at you. Like that must be infuriating. You know you've done all of this. You've been to Epstein's Island, and they're still laughing at you. Like, where do you go? Like so you're like, screw it. I'm going eugenicist. I'm going to vaccinate the
Good
fuck
night,
out of these
so
people.
2 words for you, pal. Or 3 words. Is that 3
Dude,
words?
watch this one.
What's the easiest way to kill all the bullies at once?
Ladies and gentlemen, Steve Ballmer!
Oh my god.
Could you imagine being that excited for Windows 95?
Can you be that excited about the new Pentagon contract?
Dude, but that's
Tell
back when
them,
Windows
like,
was actually like a good operating system.
No, that was
there
never
no
a
such time.
situation. Yeah. No, that
Dude,
they're
I played-
celebrating, I'm sure, their government contracts. How many licenses of fucking Windows did they sell to the government?
Oh,
I mean,
too
billions
many.
and billions of dollars worth.
Yeah.
Yeah, I danced around like an idiot too.
Well, at this point, had they done that yet? Because wasn't it when the part of the deal was Windows 95 is how they got in all their shit and then got the government contracts, because that's where they tried to force everyone to have only Internet Explorer on their computers, and so the government came in and did all the, monopoly busting, and it was the monopoly busting that pulled them in under the wing. Hey, you're not doing what you're supposed to, so how about you come in here where we can take care of you?
Right.
And then he started.
Phil,
to
stop
build-
sending me these weird memes, dude.
Well, he was definitely given a ring of power, right? Like, there's one ring to rule them all, but he got to, he's like, all right, I'll do one at my little kingdom over here. But yeah,
Well,
now he's a eugenicist. I mean, imagine somebody like that who's like, yeah, I think I know what the genetic makeup of the human race should be.
Yeah.
I mean, that is the most disturbing kind of central planning that can exist, in my opinion.
Or hey, we
Utopian.
could spray things in the air to block out the sun to protect us from global warming. I mean,
Like
he
Mr.
literally
Burns
pitched that.
style.
Yeah, it's like he's
Dude,
a fuck-
it's those
Oh!
Fabian socialists.
The seed
Always has
vault.
been.
Bingo.
the seed vault in the Arctic, in the above the Arctic Circle.
You love that sea vault, dude.
Dude.
You talk about
Alex,
it a lot.
we're gonna make a PRL sponsored trip to the seed vault someday.
I want to go.
We're gonna fucking break into that bitch and we're gonna fucking plant all those seeds.
And,
We're gonna
okay,
grow a
sir.
great garden
Is
together.
the sea vault in the room with us right now, Alex?
Alex, tell
Are
me.
you Is it talking to you right now?
For the record, there's actually a really good DuckTales episode in the new DuckTales series about the seed vault.
Really?
Joke. Yes.
Dude, they put
Only you would know that. That's
put-
awesome.
truth in plain sight. They put it out there.
Dude,
That's
there's a
called social
seed
engineering,
vault
bro.
plot in one of the newer Star Trek franchises, Discovery. There's a intergalactic seed vault.
Well,
It's
it's what comes.
part of the major.
Uh-oh.
Oh no.
The star.
Oh,
Starlink.
he's back. He's
back.
back.
All
All
right,
right,
cool.
you froze. You froze the
Uh-oh.
last word you said.
Yeah, we
There's a
didn't
seed-
miss.
There's
too
a
much.
seed vault plot in Star Trek Discovery, one of the newer
Yeah.
Star Trek
Okay.
franchises. So
you
it's
wasted your
definitely
time on
out there.
that.
I'm aware of it. That's all I'm saying. And
Ugh.
We got some Trekkies.
Oh no. My wife's a Trekkie, but she looks
Oh.
damn good in the Uhura outfit, so I don't complain much.
Hey, oh.
Star Trek has always had some of the best space babes. I mean, from Uhura, like
Hmm.
especially alternate universe Uhura, In
Hell
the
yeah.
alternate universe, when
I
she
love
had
me
like
some Ahoras.
the dagger and the super sexy look, showing her midriff, like that's about as hot as Star Trek ever got.
Yeah. For those of you
Turn
just
on now.
tuning in, this is a Star Trek convention.
Yeah.
This is
Star Trek
StarCon.
Libertarians.
Fashion.
I mean, I could pivot real easy. I watched a great movie with great horror Christmas movie with William Shatner in it the other day.
Do you think he actually went to space?
He plays a radio
Oh hell
DJ.
yeah!
You think he did? He's old as fuck. He's like 90. I mean,
He is
So
90.
what, dude?
he looks good for his
You
age.
think he broke through the firmament?
I don't know. Did it throw off your satellite link, Babs, when he pulled off this feat?
I just installed the satellites, so
okay.
no. But I think he did it. I think it's freaking great. I love the way it pissed off George Takei. I'm not exactly sure how that happened, but there's some kind of feud there because George Takei is a big wuss.
Yeah, well, he's a
And,
miserable
No,
little
that's-
mouthpiece for the establishment, so fuck him.
Well,
Yeah.
isn't what's his name on audio is having said, yeah, George goes and gets himself involved in some stuff that I wouldn't choose to.
I didn't hear
In
that. That's
reference to
funny.
the
Oh
politics. Yeah, it's
I heard
Shatner's always been sort of apolitical, right? I mean, you never really hear him talk about politics
he's smart
He's an
enough to make
entertainer.
money.
because he's an actor, right?
Why would I go and turn off half my audience? Doesn't make any sense. There's it kind of aligned with that. There was a video I saw today, and what was it? Even it was Bill, or not Elon, Bezos. He even laughs like a rich guy, and it's him from the space, or was it the launch? The Shatner's hat and the spacesuit and the cowboy hat, and he just lets out this big guttural belly laugh, and it's pretty intense.
nice.
He
How does
laugh
a
like
rich guy laugh? Like
I
Mr.
mean-
Burns? Like
He laughed like everyone in the room needed to hear him laugh. That's what I would say.
So narcissist, gotcha. Yeah.
There was somebody put together a good photo comparison. It was Shatner with Bezos and kind of like embracing him, and then there was an almost identical pose from the Star Trek the Motion Picture where he's like kind of touching Ilea, the bald lady, the same way. So it's like they're both like this bald person, right? Like, and William Shatner. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. I never
Anyway.
saw that.
Yeah,
Also-
it was a perfect comparison because it was almost the same pose, Shatner with this bald other person.
You have to ask a question like how could Jeff Bezos not be a narcissist? Like living in Bezos' world, he's probably one of the most important people on the planet, and he started a company selling books on the fucking internet.
What a fucking nerd.
Like in his world, he's like sold books into world domination. Everybody, like, what's not to love?
Yeah.
Raise your
but-
hand
like,
if you don't. Raise your hand if you don't use Amazon like weekly. I mean,
Right.
honestly, I'm ashamed of how much that I use them. But
The thing about Bezos is he didn't. I mean, he started off selling books, but that wasn't his like mission. His mission was to figure out how to
Take
create
over
a
the world?
global. Basically, yeah. Like, look at him talk about like early interviews when he talks about like Amazon just starting up, and he's talking about books like they're just widgets, right? Like they're just like widgets on a fucking conveyor belt. Like he was just trying to figure out how can we sell as much shit as we can to as many people as we can.
were you guys using Amazon when it was brand new?
no.
You could
Yeah,
order
yeah.
you could order stuff at like 11 o'clock at night, and it would be on the front porch at 9 a.m. And this was like 20 years ago. I don't know how they did it.
Well, that was the
but,
thing that he really
man,
brought
they
to the
they
table.
came out fast.
Yeah,
Well, that-
his whole thing is delivery, right? I mean, his whole thing is like fulfillment. It's all about
yeah.
fulfillment. It's not about like creating anything. He doesn't create any products, right? It's all about like fulfilling.
No,
which is
his
brilliant,
his vision was I'm going to put a bunch of warehouses everywhere in the country, right next door to main shipping hubs, so that no matter who orders it, it's always there fast.
Right.
And that was the big thing because guess what? It worked. Everybody wants their shit and they want it now.
Kind of reminds me of Lysander Spooner and the American Letter Mail Company. Was that the name of his competitor to the post office? You guys know about that?
The one that they had to shut down because it was better than
they were.
Yeah.
He used the stagecoaches where people were riding stagecoaches that like they had a mail monopoly set up by Congress since like 1794 or whatever. But he's like, hey, there's people riding stagecoaches from like Baltimore to Boston. And he's like, what if I pay them to take letters up and down this route?
So he basically invented like Uber, like the Uber like delivery thing, like
DoorDash.
200 years before Uber.
Right.
Wasn't that essentially how
extremely successful? It was really successful. Got people like I believe was responsible for pioneering door-to-door delivery instead of to the post office delivery, like actually getting to your door, possibly even multiple deliveries per day coming in, and and brought the cost like well below what the government monopoly rate had been. So eventually they had to just bully him out of existence, but he went down.
I mean, to this day, it's not like the government can compete in mail.
Nope.
They've since had to allow. I mean, by the grace of and wisdom of the U.S. Postal Service and their monopoly, thefts are allowed to exist. Right? They actually get a permission from the king, to conduct their business. So, thank you for that permission, I guess.
Well, I mean, at this point, the U.S. mail feels like it's subsidized by Amazon. Like they don't exist for any other reason than to deal with their overflow.
Yeah, I mean, their only monopoly at this point is what? Just letters, right? Like you're not allowed to mail a letter through UPS, right?
Oh no,
like,
you mean junk mail?
Yeah,
exactly.
that's pretty much it.
Well,
because when's the last fucking time you sent a letter?
If you send a letter using FedEx and it's not urgent, then you've committed a crime, and they do prosecute. You're only allowed to use FedEx if it's urgent. I'm not making that up.
If you need your shit to take like 2 to 3 weeks, like just run it through the USPS.
If you said, you know what, I don't really care when this letter gets here, but I'm just going to use FedEx anyway, you've committed a federal crime.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
I trust Babs on it. He'd know what's a federal crime.
He's well versed with the liturgy of the law. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, try it. Just try to go to FedEx and be like, hey, I want to send this overnight. It's not really urgent.
Babs the only guy I know who read 3 felonies a day and said this is rookie numbers. You better pump that shit up.
I mean, how many felonies can you really commit in a day? I mean, honestly, I don't know.
With all the
hours
shit
in a day,
with all the shit that's on the books, I'm pretty sure 3 was conservative from the writer. Of the
is anything if I were to use Bitcoin for anything, would that be considered a felony?
If it's drugs, probably from overseas.
What if it's just like a normal transaction, but like just unreported?
Well, I was gonna say if you're not using a KYC company, then definitely that's illegal.
Yeah, luckily I don't do that, of course.
And I don't know that you would necessarily be committing the felony, but you would definitely be aiding and abetting a crime. So, all those statutory crimes that they have or procedural crimes. Well, yeah, he didn't do it, but he knew it happened and didn't call it in. So clearly he's guilty too.
Right.
That's
really kills it. And I'm sure once you keep your transactions under the $600 threshold, then it'll be like, then they'll call it structuring. Right.
Well, and with all their inflation, I mean, just going to the grocery store is going to be a $600.
Yeah, that's going to be everything pretty soon. Pumping gas, like next year. But why not? Why not? Just now, like, because before they had things like, oh, if it's more than like 3,000, they have to report this, or 10,000, they have to report that. And if you structure your deposits, say you make like 10 deposits of $9,999. Right, to keep under their reporting threshold intentionally, they call that structuring, and that's its own crime. So, like, yeah, you complied, but because you really tried to get around us, you're also guilty now still.
Unless you're
So-
a billionaire, and then you can just have like as many offshore tax shelters and
Right.
whatever
Yeah.
you want to do.
But
Like
for
you're
us,
cool.
for us mere mundanes, that would be structuring. So
Right.
now, so I'm sure once you be like, hey, how much does that cost? $5.99. $5.99. The whole world's going to be $599 for everything, right? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, on the
That's
positive,
structuring.
guys, they haven't wiped us out like cattle quite yet. We do still have the ability to buy stuff. So, I mean, maybe we should be a little happy at our betters allowing us to do this.
I know. I'm so thankful they let us do these things. Thank overlords.
I just regret all those
Hail
voting
meta.
accidents that everybody keeps having, because it seems, just based on what they're doing, having some Bitcoin would be a real advantage.
Oh,
So be careful on those boats out there, guys. Let me
Yeah,
tell you, it is rough.
I had a friend back in upstate New York take me on a tour at his bottom of his lake, and there's some fun toys down there.
Yeah, maybe that'll be the like the Jacques Cousteau and the treasure hunters. Instead of like going after gold doubloons and what Spanish treasure, they're looking for everybody's hardware wallets that it tragically fell overboard in a storm.
Sitting right next to large quantities of ammunition.
Hell yeah, there's only type of quantities of ammunition I like.
In this life, one thing counts in your stockroom, large amounts.
Right. Yes.
Speaking
Oh
of,
boy. Go for it, Alex.
all right. Well,
Transition.
Otto, you wanted to talk about it. Do you hashtag poopy pants Biden is trending on Twitter. What are your thoughts?
I think this is a psyop
You think so?
because there's no proof that he pooped his pants. It was literally like some guys just said, "Oh, the rumor around Rome is Biden had a bathroom accident while he was visiting the Pope," and that's it. That's where it all started from.
But
There's
But
no
psyop to
pictures.
do what?
I don't know. Make us sound like crazy people. Like, see,
No,
these
you
people
guys-
are misinformation.
no, dude.
Well,
you're
it could be
misentirely.
it could be trying to just reach out and connect with his base, which are also a bunch of senior citizens that lose their shit. And this is the kind of like it wasn't enough to be like, oh, he's senile like me, right? They're like, oh, he's really struggling like I am when I go to Walmart.
See, I'm looking at this as they realized they fucked up with Trump and they couldn't get the 25th. So now they got to really sell the 25th to get Kamala into office.
I really
What's the
think that's what-
25th?
25th Amendment.
Amendment.
25th Amendment.
And we talked about that on the
Like,
last.
How you-
basically, you can declare that the president's like lost his
Unfit.
mind. And
Yeah, Icky,
unfit.
we were talking about that last week, and it was when he did that CNN town hall, and it was just, I mean, if that was in Baltimore, and
Do
it
you have
just
to
seems
prove?
like,
Wait, do you have to prove that he's lost his mind, or if you can prove that he's lost bowel control, is that enough?
No.
Wow.
It's unfitness. And if he's going to shit himself at those UN meetings, clearly he's
Yeah.
unfit to be leading the
Yeah.
free world.
It's not sanitary.
Okay, so unfit. It doesn't actually. So it just it's open. Like if you're unfit, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yep.
now, I mean, theoretically, you could just like put him in a gigantic Depends and send him into the UN and be like, do your best.
I mean, if anybody's,
Yeah, but if they want Kamala to take power, obviously they're not going to do that, right? They're gonna try and push this.
he's gonna die of COVID.
Well, who needs Kamala? Who needs Kamala to take power when Meat Joe is so malleable?
Oh, he is. He's
That's
so-
true.
Right.
Exactly. I think they literally like Meat Joe.
Well, you need
And then-
the
Yeah, they're probably like,
illusion.
I bet you the original plan was like get Kamala in there, and now they're like,
Yeah.
you know what? Meat Joe and CIA CGI Joe combo is really
Yep.
working out for us. Like let's
He's really hitting
let's
the
stick
spot.
with this and see how this goes.
Yeah, and these fake sets and these teleprompter technology has come a long way.
These guys-
I mean, they need some
oh, there's a video.
arena. They need some arena to test this stuff in, right? I mean, how else are they going to pull off all the deep fakes and whatnot they're going to need? They need to test it out on the president of the United States.
Yeah.
Can't wait for
Well-
his next inauguration. It's going to be gloriously
You think he's
Lot
gonna make it?
CGI. It's going to be
Dude, I'm
one of the
excited for-
neatest, like darkest productions ever.
I don't
Dude,
know, man.
I guess-
Trump might come back, dude.
I got this email. I didn't read it because unfortunately I'm still on her list, but I got a email from Joe Jorgensen.
Oh god.
Very sad email. Sad, very sad. But I don't know. I didn't even read it. But I'm just like, but the whole topic was like, oh my gosh, like trying to gin up, support for whatever she's doing now, or maybe to donate money to National LP. But it was just
what is she doing now?
Yeah, well, it was just like a fun. It was I could, based on like the headline and I read the first couple. I was like, you're gonna ask for money. Fuck. I was like, I don't have time for this right now. But it basically was, can you imagine Biden, Trump 2024? And I'm like, you actually think Biden's gonna make it to 2024? Like,
never in a million.
Oh God, I hope he does. Oh,
there's
God,
a video
please.
of him at the UN today, and he's asleep. His arms are folded, and he's got his mask on, and he's just sleeping. I'm watching it now. It's 30 seconds long. His eyes are closed, and he's nodding. He's nodding back and forth, like as if he's like drifting off into sleep.
Look, I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt on this.
I'm giving him
the benefit of the doubt on this one because I've performed the same move during many work meetings, and if I'm not allowing them to call it sleeping, I can't call it sleeping for Joe Biden. It's a technicality. He's out on it.
Okay. Well, his advisor comes over and is like, "Sir, you're falling asleep. You need to wake up. I need you to look at this. Make it look like we're talking about something. Not if you can hear me."
No sleeping on the bar. We've all experienced that lesson at some point.
Right. You can't sleep on the bar.
Was that
but
great?
You can sleep at the UN. Apparently, that's the rule.
I saw a hilarious meme the other day, and it was your friend passes out in 1998 versus SoundCloud rapper in 2021. And it's just
they look exactly the
same picture of guy with penises and shit drawn on his face.
Yes, I get it now. Very much so. Oh man, this
speaking
fucking
of
world's a simulation. Speaking
of our good buddy Dan Smots interviewed in fucking Tom McDonald the other day. That was pretty dope.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Who doing what?
Dan Smots, we've had on the podcast before.
Oh, Dan Smots, yeah. Who was he interviewing? Tom McDonald?
Yeah.
Ronald McDonald.
Ronald McDonald. Who's this? Who is Tom McDonald?
Oh my god, I don't even have time to this. Like, you're not following any politics in the past year or 2 or 3?
No, dude.
He's that white rapper that like
good for that shit.
Got famous.
Oh, that guy who was the guy who was like
white rappers.
The guy who was like rapping about equality and shit. That guy.
He actually generally raps about like the empire and how fucked up everything is.
He's pretty based. I mean, I don't know if I can like completely get into it, but I mean, he's pretty good lyrically.
I like his track. Everybody Hates Me, and that's about it. I like hate his beats. They're
I don't.
Boringest beats ever.
Of course, they all are because white rappers are not impressive.
Except for
they try too hard.
Nah, except for Vinny Paz. Jedi Mind Tricks is fucking dope.
Okay.
Is he a white guy?
Vinny Paz, yeah. I
thought he was like Mexican.
Yeah, I thought he was like.
Nah, he's Italian. He's like Sicilian.
Well, then he's not white.
He's not white.
Well, then he's 13%. Yeah, I guess.
Have you ever watched True Romance? Dennis Hopper gives a rousing speech on why none of us as Italians are actually white.
I mean, we're all I mean, that's the thing. Like, the lyrical content's good, and it's like, all right, it's not my thing, but if the kids are listening to this, then more power to them.
They're really not.
But they aren't though. That's the thing. Yeah.
And like, okay, so this is gonna be. I know I'm probably gonna.
Is it the same fans that listen to what's his name's band? Fuck, the black guy.
Oh yeah.
Honestly, no.
Oh yeah. Okay,
Eric July has a very small fan base.
What do they call
that? Backwards.
Yeah.
You know the worst part is. I get so pissed because he's an awesome rapper. I just want him to release like actual rap, which I think is way fucking better than Backwards.
I'll give you that. But you know how I heard rap for the first time the other day, and I was like, "This is
Jack Lloyd."
Rapping. No, I heard Zuby.
Don't knock him.
Zuby was rapping, and I was like, "That's Interesting.
I just know him from his wonderful infographics, right? And his little sage like advice. I gotta be afraid to listen to his music because I might not like it. Like,
yes, please don't. Just take.
Wait, he's the guy. He was on like Rogan, right? He was.
I maybe I know he's been on everything.
Yeah, he's super clever.
His claim to fame was.
Is he a hotep?
No.
For whatever that means.
He's not hotep. Zuby's just like a anarcho-capitalist.
I think of like as just a free thinker. I don't think he's like fully on board, but I think he's
the island boy.
He's asking a lot of the right questions and getting a lot of attention for it. So
wait, you call him an island boy? What kind of what island do you think?
Oh
he's
yeah,
from?
okay, this guy. Yeah, I follow him on Twitter. I see his tweets sometimes.
Yeah, because he's got great Twitter.
He's from Saudi Arabia.
Anything about his rap career, but
he's based. I mean, interview on Tom Woods. He's been like. He's pretty.
I'm such a music snob. I shouldn't be trash. I am not. I'm just.
Do you even listen to hip hop or rap?
What's hilarious is
you just have opinions.
I'm an asshole music snob, and he's like, he's even saying like my snobbery's not snobbery enough. I guess I was a fucking hipster, and
I am the biggest snob, and everyone hates my guy because all I do is piss off like Michael Heiss and all the people around who like they love Tool and all these weird shitty bands that I'm supposed to like, but I hate.
Tool's great.
Wait, here. Let me break down Tool for you as a band.
Sure.
Tribal drum beat with whispering vocals.
Yeah, you've already made this joke, dude.
Yell. Yeah.
This was on episode let's see, 264.
I will make it till the end of time. Until people realize this.
I love Tool. They're great.
What I do love though is I love Tool's lead singer.
Yeah, he's great.
And more for his politics than anything else.
What's this band? What is this band too? It's like Porcupine something that everyone's all been talking.
Porcupine Tree. That's not Maynard, is it?
No. Porcupine Tree is back after like a huge hiatus.
They're different. They're a different band, but they're kind of
they're progressive rock.
Yeah, they're like prog rock.
And like, so everyone's like, "Oh my god, it's the greatest band of all time," and I'm like, "It sounds like a waste of a drummer."
No, listen. In your world, what you're actually seeing is a lot of people sucking Tom Woods' dick. That's the only reason most of those people like Porcupine Tree.
It was Tom Woods who did say that. I was like,
I will be one of the few people that say I fronted a 70s progressive rock tribute act for a while, and that's the only reason I know who Porcupine Tree is. Because my bass player was a huge fan, but in our world, the only reason anybody knows who they are is Tom Woods, and they're like, "Oh, I've got something in common with Tom Woods. Hey, Tom, high five me on Facebook."
Right. I saw 3 people like it. I guess that's what I forgot. It was Tom that posted that, but I was like, "What the fuck am I listening to?" Like this.
I actually saw it before Tom.
And the drummer's like the most technical drummer I can imagine, and then it's just all of a sudden it just. Like it's terrible. Everything else. I'm like, what?
I mean,
the vocal. I'm not a fan of the vocalist. I'm not. Yeah.
The guitar player is badass, but
he can
don't
play.
Particularly care for his vocals either because it's the same guy.
Right.
And honestly, he's done some pretty interesting stuff solo that I'm kind of like, why do the Porcupine Tree back together?
Yeah. Who is in Porcupine Tree?
Such a hater.
I feel like there's a solo artist from there that's like good.
And it fucking sucks because
Steven
Wilson is he's the guy that formed it.
I know this is off topic, but like my wife went and saw Alkaline Trio and Bad Religion, and I would have loved to go to a show. Because originally had tickets for me, but I was like, I'm not going. I have to wear a mask. But apparently I forgot that Montgomery County lifted their mask mandate like a day before the show, and so they had all these.
That's dumb.
Babs zooming in from the Starlink.
Yeah, Greg Graffin would have been like yelling at you in the crowd to put your mask back on.
Well, no one had a mask on. My wife was like, she was like sending me messages. She's like, no one has a mask on here. She's like, no one's wearing one. She's like, there must be like 3 people wearing it. And I was like,
well, did they all have their vaccine status tattooed on them at that point? I mean, that seems like their fan base.
Right. And it sucks because I would have gone just because to say I went to a show because I've been so desperate to go to shows. And
but Bad Religion though, like, dude, that's like you might as well just be giving money to a college somewhere. Like,
well,
listen.
I know.
Have you listened to anything that they've put out in the past couple years?
It's not good. It all sounds the same. I can never get into Bad Religion. I'm sorry. His vocals, he's so just monotone. It's just it's just so like boring. And then so my wife sends me a video of him singing on I forget his name, singing on stage, and just like, yes, that's exactly like how it sounds. He's just standing there, like holding the mic, just like singing,
the best,
not
the best
moving.
thing,
I'm like, what the fuck?
The best thing they had going for him was the harmonies. And then he trained NoFX how to do them, and they did them way better, and the band was way cooler until they started to suck too.
Yes.
So.
Agreed. But I'm such a hater. I hate everything. When it comes to music, I just Babs is back. Hell yeah.
There we go.
See, people beg us to talk about music on the show, but all it ends up being is just everyone shitting on the bands that they hate.
Wait.
They don't beg us. They don't beg us.
Do you not remember being at a punk show? Isn't that all you did was shit on the other bands and every band for that matter? That's all I did.
No, I enjoyed it. Actually, like whenever I went to a show and I heard band play, I'm like, dude, that band's awesome. That rocks. And like, I'll listen to their CD and be like, no, they suck. Why did I like? Yeah. I guess I was just so impressed the fact that I was seeing live music.
Yeah, especially if you go like high as shit, you're like, man, it sounds amazing. Like I can love
any band, but unless it's like out of tune, if there's bad intonation, I'm sorry, I just can't tolerate that.
See, what I miss is when I'd go to a show and I'd love a band and like buy their CD shit faced, and then go home and like rediscover them and they're awesome, and you're like, what the fuck was this? Did I watch this band? I don't fucking remember these guys at all.
I don't
this is
remember
incredible.
Cool.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I need more shows. It sucks because I was gonna see Strike Anywhere. They're playing the day after tomorrow in Baltimore, but they canceled because of the threat of coronavirus.
Oh, what a bunch of pussies!
I'm like, yeah, I know.
Wait, who canceled? Autobar?
The band Strike Anywhere. They're really good.
Were they playing at Autobar?
No, they were playing at Baltimore Soundstage.
That's not a bad venue. That's a pretty cool. Like I've seen a bunch of bands.
Is it the venue? Wait, the venue canceled it on them?
No, the band did. Because they were coming with I forget, they were coming with Comeback Kid and some other bands, and I was like, hell yeah, I have to go to the show. I was like, Baltimore Soundstage is weird. Like each show has its own COVID mandate, like of some sort. Like sometimes you always have to wear a mask because it's Baltimore City, so they're always enforcing the mask. But then some shows you have to prove that you're vaccinated because the bands requested it, and other times you go, they don't care. So it's weird. It's a weird setup. But apparently the band Strike Anywhere said that they were afraid of the variants and stuff that are out there, and they don't want to get sick.
And so you write them off, and you never
guess
give
what?
them another dime.
I got news for them. Everybody's going to end up getting it eventually. This is what all the experts are saying now. It's an endemic. It's going to be like the flu. You maybe twice a decade, and just get used to it. Whether you're vaccinated or not, you're going to get it. And even the experts are saying, yeah, even if vaccinated, you're going to have lesser symptoms, but you got the same chance of spreading it. You got the same chance of getting it. And, just get used to it. So what are these people hiding from?
They've been saying that for 6 months.
Yeah, we're like good 50 minutes in, so this probably won't get us kicked off Facebook. But yeah, dude, I'm like Babs. To your point, I'm fucking sick of this shit. Like I think I'm done with this group of friends that I've rolled with for years in our fantasy football league. Like I'm just fucking done with them. Like they just like the one dude who's such a fucking COVID idiot. He's like
burn
strikes
that
again.
Shit down when you leave, bro.
He doesn't strike. Like he just pops up out of nowhere just to talk shit on the group chat. And one of the guys posted a picture of us like the last time we all were like hanging out, and it was like, yeah, like someone was just like, yeah, remember when we used to have fun? And it's like, fuck, like. So I just posted an article that was just it was a recent UK study. It was on fucking Bloomberg. Like this wasn't some, like
that's a right.
This wasn't Infowars.com.
Exactly. Like I'm like, this is a Bloomberg article, and it was a UK study. To your point, Babs, like where basically they were saying like, with these variants, even if you're vaccinated, there's going to be breakthrough cases, and like 35% of people that have been jabbed, like over like this like almost like 10-month study in the UK or whenever the vaccines became available, they were studying the amount of breakthrough cases, and they said like 35%. And this fucking, so I posted it, and then So in the title of the article and in the first paragraph, it's like 35% of those double vax, you're gonna fucking get it again. You're gonna fucking get it.
Right.
Or you're gonna
It's
pass
reached
it
the
on.
point. Right. It's reached the point whether you're vaxxed or not.
35%?
Yeah.
I don't even think like 35% of the population gets it.
Dude, like 40%. Well, no, of like if you got
Well, the vaccinated are more likely to get it.
yeah,
period.
like
They've
Chad, I don't know if you heard. I just heard on the radio like 40% of those have been hospitalized. 40% of those that are hospitalized with COVID have been already vaccinated. Like they make these. No,
you paid attention to the Israeli study at all?
Yeah, that's fucking
Where
crazy.
85% of the population, like
Jared, you got to know what's going on in your homeland.
Yeah, it seems like where they brag about like we've vaccinated everybody. They've got like the highest rates of infection. And like,
where are the lowest numbers, by the way? Do you know lowest numbers in the U.S.?
Places where they don't have TV, you know, like the Amish.
The Amish.
Yeah.
Like,
No, Florida has the lowest
Amish
rates
community is thriving.
in the world.
Yeah, Florida does. And but you okay, post that anywhere. These people come back like the hive mind, and they post this one thing saying, "Oh, you're wrong. It has the most deaths and most cases."
Whereas here's what they do. Here's what they do with those articles. Like literally in the title of the article, let me see if I can find. Well, I'd have to send it on my phone. It'll take too long. But in the title of the article and in the first paragraph, it gave you the meat and potatoes. Like, here you go. Even if you get this shit, you're still gonna get it. So at what fucking point, pussies? This is kind of the point I was making to these guys in my fantasy league. At what point are you gonna start just fucking living your life? Like, there's enough information. And then they just like clap back, like, because if you continue reading it, just like any mainstream media article, it's just a bunch of fucking gobbledygook and numbers, word salad, quotes, emotional shit. And by the end of the time you get to these like paragraphs written on like a 12th grade reading level, you're like, what the fuck did I just read?
Oh, no. It's
like, what the fuck did I just read? It's like in the title and in this, but when you get down to the end, so
yeah, you drill down to the links or whatever the alleged evidence is. It's completely off topic or irrelevant or not there or wrong. It's like, or can we just whatever. Nobody cares.
Can we just stick to this? But no. But then it just kind of like, although this is rare, and then interviewing doctors, just kind of like, hey, we're giving you facts, but we're going to dissuade you from this with a bunch of like word salad and gobbledygook.
Exactly what you're talking about.
Well,
you know?
Well, they need to sell vaccines. Like whatever else they're doing, that is their job title right now. Sponsored by Pfizer, blah, 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 blah. I mean,
sponsored by Pfizer.
OSHA already told you they're not going to keep track of vaccinated versus unvaccinated because they don't want to put out any information that would dissuade people from getting vaccinated.
Right. And they won't even, and then your workplace.
Right. So that tells you we're going to do whatever it takes to sell vaccines, regardless of any other founding like basic principles or our mission to protect workers or whatever else OSHA is supposed to be doing. They've now been co-opted to sell vaccines, and where they're going to put this whole occupational health thing on hold while we do a political agenda.
In both Europe, I believe, specifically in England, I believe it's the whole European Union, and in Australia, they're trying to get it so that like those numbers can't be shared with the public. You're not allowed to know.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, it's great.
I believe what they said in Australia specifically was, we have that information. We're not going to tell you though.
Wow.
Well, you see this from these so-called officials all the time. How many times has Fauci come out and said, like, yeah, well, we had to say that at that time because we needed people to do this. Like he knew, like when he was telling people that, okay, masks don't work, but he admitted, like, well, we really wanted to hoard them for ourselves. And then he said, now they work. Now that's mandatory. And everybody pivoted. And he said, like, well, we don't think they're going to accept a 10-foot distancing, so we're going to go with 6 foot because it's more it's more right. We can sell that better. Like
so while you have
pull the shit out of their out of the air.
So while we have all these huge protests going around the world, and in particular in the U.S. and New York City,
oh my gosh, it's happening up there.
Yeah,
firefighters, cops, they're just quitting.
Yep,
garbage in the streets, piling up, people getting
rats left and right.
And meanwhile, I just got my
typical day in Manhattan.
I got an email this past Saturday saying a reminder from my company that we are a government contractor, and so you are expected to. All of our rules so far are null and void. By this date, you need to have a jab.
Yep. My buddy just texted me that literally as we started the podcast.
So no matter how much,
just sent me that.
No matter how much fighting, they're going to roll it through. They're going to steamroll this, and if for no other reason, I think then to collapse the economy. Like, it could be the only goal at this point. Because
if we have any of our folks out there that are like in a position where they're losing their jobs and they actually get fired for not taking the jab, contact me. I'll bet you there's another job. I'll use whatever network I have to find you another.
I legitimately,
hell yeah.
I was legitimately sitting here on Thursday night thinking to myself, I was like, am I going to have to move to Florida? I fucking hate Florida.
I will help you find a different job. No problem. If that's what it comes down to. Seriously. Seriously, you need me to help find you a job?
I don't know yet.
What about New Hampshire?
New Hampshire's going to fall eventually anyway. I mean, they're all going to fall eventually, but like, where can I buy another 10 years, hopefully?
You sound like Pete Quinones.
Are you a collapsitarian? Black pilling.
Are you post-libertarian?
Libertarian.
Yeah, of course he's a black pill, and that's like every episode he comes on.
It's like, we're
all gonna be in fucking FEMA camps in 10 years.
No, not FEMA camps. I'm gonna be on somebody's property.
Can we all be in this
fighting off the FEMA camp?
We got to get to the same region that we're in, so at least we'll be together at some point.
I'm the Maryland, baby.
But in what is always the problem with that though? Because if you're all in one region, it's really easy to.
Then they can just drop a nuke on you, right?
That's true.
Well, I don't even think location is that important in a lot of things. But say we're getting a lot of our people that are out of work because of these new mandates, right? And these are good, qualified people that normally would not be on the job market. Okay, guess what? I want to hear from you. Maybe I want to hire you. I bet you my friends want to hire you because there's a whole opportunity here to sort of reassemble between the wild humans and the domesticated humans, right? Let's just go ahead and separate, right?
Which I hope.
Do it.
That's the goal.
So, you know what? Don't be afraid. Let them fire you. Take your benefits, take your skills, take your know-how, and guess what? That's still valued out here in the real world. So, it's going to be a tough period of adaptation, but how else can we handle this?
To Pete's point, though, I mean, I definitely think now it's beyond COVID. This is some great reset, collapse the economy shit. Just the other day, the 1700 what was it? United Airlines or I
just want to be holding Alex's hand going, it never wasn't.
Well, I mean, clearly, from the get-go, but even if people's mindset are still in the virus, it's like, how the fuck are you still in the virus? Like, I'm talking normies. Like, from the get-go, I was like, this was going to be a viral 9/11.
Well, the UN just had another summit, with Prince Andrew. Or was it Andrew or Prince Charles? Prince Charles this time, like the one that's actually going to take over after the Queen dies. Very specifically about how all this pivots to the climate agenda. And how expect shutdowns to continue to tackle carbon. I
mean, all the ships just sitting out there, all these railroad. I think it was Union Pacific Railroad. They have up until I think next week that they got to get the jab. So they're just going to be like, all right, fuck it. Like supply, shit's going to be a mess. Supply chains are going to be fucked.
My wife is in the kitchen right now putting our meat in jars. Might just stockpiling as much of it as we can.
No kink shaming, okay? No kink shaming on the show. You understand me?
I mean, if that's what you're into,
she does it. Your meat is your business.
Yeah, this is total great reset stuff. It seems like oh, that's a crazy conspiracy, and then you watch the stuff just crumble around you and say like, holy shit, there it is. Like you will own nothing. We're watching all the properties be consolidated to these like BlackRock and whatnot as everybody shifts from, like don't pay your mortgage, don't pay your mortgage, don't pay your rent, don't pay your rent, don't pay your rent. Everybody's bankrupt and the banks have all the property. It's like is it a coincidence like that people are going to and now the unrealized capital gains tax
Oh yeah.
Oh shit, we might have
We
to
got
save.
so let's speaking of great resets, let's reset this to the after hours. And we'll bring this all back up.
Thank there. Yeah, join Klaus Schwab
yeah,
after
and,
hours episodes.
Yeah, exactly. And you talk about supply chains. One thing you'll never run out of is punk rock libertarians episodes. And if you want to get more episodes, then I suggest you sign up for our Patreon for as little as $1 a month. You guys get to check out all of our backlog of our episodes after our episodes, and we don't have to wait for someone to unload it from a ship to listen to it. So that's good. So check that out. We're gonna record one more right after this. And if you guys don't like using Patreon or anything like that, so go to our PRLfans.com and find other ways to donate to the show. We also have sponsors, and one of our newest sponsors is Wheelie's Pharmacy, and they have all of your CBD needs. If you use the code PRL10, get yourself a 10% discount. And also, we have t-shirts for sale over at libertariancountry.com. So use the code PRL or PRL Podcast for a 10% discount. And if you spend $50 or more, you can get a 20% discount if you use the code PRL2. We are also brought to you tonight by Hidden in Plain Sight by Moral Bob. And until next time, live free
or die.